Now, Taraji P. Henson is out here saying she's gonna quit Hollywood. She's been talking about the money because it's funny out here. You guys really have to put this into perspective. This woman has been in over 40 movies. I mean, she's had an above average career in Hollywood. She's been in successful films that have made a lot of money. Even if you break down her lead roles as an individual lead, she has made over 200 million. For a lot of people in the industry, that is unheard of. And even as a lead ensemble actor, she's been a part of big box office films. Even looking at her supporting roles, they've made a lot of money. One thing that I love about Taraji is that she's been talking about the pay for actors, especially for black actors, for such a long time. She's voiced her concerns. I mean, her career has been a rocky road, y'all. For many of you guys that have seen the David Fincher film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, one of her first roles, she only took home $40,000. It was after taxes, and that was after she had tried to negotiate a deal of getting $500K for that movie. Fortunately, she was only able to come home with $150K. A large majority of that went to her team. It seems to be a reoccurring theme in Hollywood. This is why advocating for actors is more important than ever. They just had a whole strike about it. They didn't even address the racial disparities. Unfortunately, they're going to find a reason to not pay you. A lot of black actors' careers have been stifled because of this. Come on now, she could at least get decent pay. I really wish the best for Taraji, and if leaving Hollywood is what's best for her, I feel like she should do what she wants.
You guys, we have to talk about Taraji P. Henson. I'm sure you guys all seen the video of her in the interview where she's literally brought to tears, and she talks about how she is not paid enough as an actress. And I know we sort of have this like disdain regarding actors because we tend to see like headlines like, oh, so-and-so nabbed like a $10 million deal. And we sort of think that that's what they take home, but that's not the case. So for example, in the article, she states like, okay, so let's say someone makes $10 million. Off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%. So now you have like $5 million. Then let's not forget what your team gets. So that's another 30%. And she goes on to explain that it's not after what Uncle Sam took. It's literally before. So now they're left with even less. She makes another good point, which I think that people don't talk about enough, is the money that some actors can generate like overseas. That's why a lot of like people that do like the MCUs and the Marvels and all that, they tend to get a lot of money because it translates overseas. But black stories and black actors, a lot of their type of movies and the roles that they get and the things that they do don't necessarily translate overseas. And we know that certain marketing points, they don't market that. And we know that, I hate to say, in a lot of other countries, there's a lot of colorism and racism that still exists. Taraji's been in the game for over 20 years, and she's talked about this type of stuff before. Let's not forget, Taraji was the same girl that did The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which earned her Oscar nomination, but she was only paid $150 for that role. And mind you, she had stated that they were only going to give her $100,000, and she wanted $500,000, but they were only going to give her $100,000, but she fought and got basically, I think, about $150. This is an ongoing issue that are sort of echoed throughout America, that businesses are basically profiting and the people that are working for them are basically not. That's what the actor strike was about. A lot of it was streaming. A lot of it was AI. Yes, I get that. But a lot of it was the wealth disparity that is distributed among these actors.
Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in another video, and I am here to talk about Taraji P. Henson and her speaking out about black actresses and black actors and entertainers in general not being paid their worth. So for those of you who may not know who Taraji P. Henson is, which I'm assuming that you do if you clicked on this video, but in case you aren't that familiar with her. So Taraji P. Henson is an iconic black actress that has starred in several successful hit movies and TV shows, from Empire, Hidden Figures, Hustle and Flow, and now The Color Purple. And she recently spoke out in the midst of her promoting The Color Purple that she was debating quitting acting. She just was feeling very frustrated and depleted working in this industry.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing. And when you start working a lot, you know, you have a team. Big bills come with what we do. We don't do this alone. It's a whole entire team behind us.
Yes.
They have to get paid. So when you hear someone saying, oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that's not, that didn't make it to their account. Off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%.
That's right.
Okay? So do the math. Now we have $5 million. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you grossed,
Sometimes
not
more.
after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. And it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired.
And one of the things that has been incredibly frustrating for her is her pay. She spoke about how her pay literally hasn't increased at all since her role in Proud Mary, which from what I saw came out around 2018. So it's been a few years, even though 2018 feels like it was just yesterday. So it's crazy to think that 2018 has now been, what, 6 years ago? That's insane. But yeah, so, and again, like, Taraji P. Henson's catalog has been incredible, especially in these past couple of years. She's done incredible work. She's an amazing actress. And it's really sad to hear that, you know, she has been essentially fighting for breadcrumbs. And so obviously this sparked a really big debate online. Luckily, most people were in support of her and were rallying behind her because they felt like, you know, it was coming from a genuine place. And I feel like she spoke about it not just from a sense of it affecting her, but her wanting better for the actresses and actors that are coming up after her, in particular the black actors and actresses. Now, if anybody is watching this video and y'all are upset or triggered by the fact that I'm specifying black actresses, black actors, black entertainers, this video is not for you and this channel might not be for you. Listen, I'm a black woman. I'm going to speak on race when I feel that it is relevant. I cannot speak on other communities because I'm not a part of other communities. And so, you know, because sometimes I'll see people saying like, oh, why do you have to say the person is black, or why does it, you know, have to be about women specifically? I am a black woman. I'm going to speak about things from the black woman's perspective. And so, if that bothers you, then maybe this video is not for you. Just want to get a little disclaimer out there before I start getting those comments, because I'm not going to stop. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So, you know, a lot of people were, you know, rallying behind her, but then there were a few people who felt like she didn't have the right to speak on a topic like this because of how much she makes. But here's the thing. I don't care how much these people are making. When it comes to, especially when it comes to fields like this, like the creative space, again, your actors and actresses, your writers, just, you know, everybody or every field that's kind of like within that space, I feel like you're hearing a lot that people are not getting paid fairly. And I don't think that that's okay, especially because we as consumers heavily consume this content. And so I feel like it's unfair and it's unethical to not want these people to get paid their worth when we're directly benefiting from it. And also, not to mention that Taraji P. Henson isn't the first, second, third, fourth, fifth person to talk about not being paid fairly in the entertainment industry.
I have a career that's probably comparable to Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, Sigourney Weaver. They had the same path as me, and yet I am nowhere near them. Not as far as money, not as far as job opportunities, nowhere close to it. People say, you're a black Meryl Streep. You think I'm that? You pay me what I'm worth. You give me what I'm worth.
Did she just say she only receives 1 cent
I officially
residuals?
became a SAG-AFTRA member at age 13, back when it was just AFTRA and SAG separately. So I've been in it that long. I've been in show business all my life, since I was 11 years old. And this is all I've done all my life. So I respect it, I honor it, and I work for it. And as a lot of us do, performers do, and writers, we work very hard, and we have to take care of each other. So it's not just one thing, but we want fairness, better health care, better residuals. I literally get 1 cent residuals. I'm like, the paper costs more than the residuals. So we just got to make a change, you know. I'm not against corporate America, but corporate America has to share not a crumb of the pie. They have to share a piece of the pie, and we want a full piece. So let's go. Let's do it.
I'm making 6-cent checks on Pose, a show that I won an Emmy for.
So what do you mean you're making?
6-cent residual checks. What?
That's what you're getting?
Yes, that's what we're getting. Some of us are getting 6-cent checks. No. That's why we were on strike for 118 days. No, y'all don't get to do that to us anymore.
And so have you really lost a home?
Yes.
Is it your home?
Why would I
It's
be
your home?
lying?
Yeah.
Of
No,
course.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm just sort of,
Yeah.
I mean,
You're just being a you're
I
just
just
being
read
a
that and I
journalist.
kind of thought, really? I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Everybody in this business, except for the ones who are making the FU money, are 3 months away from homelessness. If you got laid off tomorrow and didn't get a job for 3 months, you'd be in a... That's what it is.
People have been talking about this for a minute, and I feel like these conversations are coming up more and more and more because of where we are in these economic times. Like, everybody is struggling. Like, I don't care what tax bracket you're in. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care if you make 50 grand or 100 grand or 150 grand. Everybody's taking a hit right now because of the economy, and I think it's important that people in every single class and every single tax bracket talks about it, because I feel like that's important to, actually getting some type of like change, is when you have people from the top talking about these things. Like, you don't want it to be just the people that are quote unquote at the bottom or the people that are struggling the most. If they're the only ones that are talking about it, I feel like it's easy for the people that are in positions to help, make that change ignore it, because it's like, okay, well, it's that whole concept of like the poor stays poor and the rich get richer. And you're seeing more and more that the middle class is shrinking more and more, to the point where people are even arguing that there is no such thing as a middle class anymore because of the huge pay disparity and just the disparity in general among these different quote unquote classes. And so you need somebody like a Taraji P. Henson that is getting out there and talking about how she's being paid unfairly, because it's like, okay, well, if she's not getting paid her worth, can you imagine, again, all of the black actresses and actors, that aren't as successful as her? Imagine what they're getting paid. And again, like with the writer's strike and with the actor's strike, it's like the way that these people are getting, some of them were literally getting paid pennies for their work. And I don't think that that's okay. I think there's a lot of corporate greed that's involved with a lot of this stuff. And I just don't see how the average person can defend these corporations that are doing everything in their power to cut corners and to underpay people to solely make sure that, they're getting as much money as possible. When, in my opinion, there's enough money to go around. I'm sorry. Like, it really brings me back to this whole idea of, is there an ethical way to be a billionaire? Because it's like you have people that, again, have billions and billions of dollars, but you have so many other people out here that are struggling.
These Hollywood studios get a lot of the profit, and people don't understand that they're a business. So those studios are businesses, which means what? Which means that they're getting a lot of tax incentives. They're getting tax cuts and tax break. Actors are not getting tax cut or tax breaks. And I would honestly say that like 80% of the time, the moviegoers are going because they like a particular actor. Obviously, there are exceptions if you have a favorite director or if you're a studio like A24, which has been producing and making some really good stuff. So you're going to have your loyal fan base. But a majority of the time, people are really going to see that actor. I honestly think they exploit a lot of actors because a lot of them are out there doing press tours, traveling, being away from their families, away from their homes constantly. And let's not to mention, if you've ever had the privilege of being on a movie set, I've had the privilege of being on a movie set before. It's long ass hours. Like, you're there for 12-hour plus. And this almost happens 80% of the time. I think as a society, we really need to like rethink everything we know about people working in America and elsewhere around the world. We have to really think about what is working and what is not. The distribution of wealth in this country is a problem, and now we're seeing it. We're seeing it with even people that we thought had a lot of money. This needs to be talked about. This needs to be a way bigger issue. I think that the distribution of wealth in this country is something that we need to discuss, and I'm glad that she's talking about it, because we're seeing just two worlds: the world at the very top, where those are living that are just literally getting all the wealth in this country, and then those at the bottom, like the rest of us, which we're barely surviving.
And yes, obviously everybody can't be on the same level. I'm aware of that. Like, everyone can't be rich. Everybody can't have luxury apartments and luxury cars. So I'm not saying that. But I do think that, as I've spoken about before, if you're working hard and if you're someone like Taraji P. Henson, she should not be fighting for breadcrumbs. Or that nurse that I spoke about in a few videos ago. Like, if her and her husband are making a good income, they should be able to afford their bills and whatever else and not have $200 left over. Like, that should not be a thing. And I just felt like there's enough money to go around to where people should be able to live comfortably if they're working, again, a good, stable 9-to-5 job, and or they're working in entertainment, and again, they have all these accolades, they've been in these successful projects, and if they're included in projects that go on to make billions and billions of dollars, why are you paying your actors, your actresses, your writers, and maybe even your production team pennies? Like, everybody should be able to benefit from that project that they worked on, not just the studio that produced it or that put it out there. I don't think that's right, and I don't see how anybody could even disagree with that. And so, with Taraji, she spoke about not only just her not getting paid fairly in a lot of these projects and how she almost walked away from The Color Purple because of the pay.
And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? It's still not mathing, and I'm really getting tired of black women having the same story. It's breaking my heart. Like, 20 plus in the game, it breaks my heart. It's like every time you achieve something really incredible, it's almost like the industry looks at it as a fluke. Like, that was like some one-time thing. So you fall back to the bottom, and you gotta negotiate and fight tooth and nail to get what you made the last time. Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here? We are to service each other. God is very clever. He put us on this earth, and he made us all look different. He made it complicated. We need to figure it out. And we can, and we are. You have to look at the glass as half full. It's always half full.
But also even the working conditions. She talked about, from what I can remember, she said that there wasn't any like food or craft services available. All of them didn't have access to like their own separate trailers.
I remember when we first came in and we were doing rehearsal, and they put us all in the same space. Like, we didn't have our own dressing rooms at the time, and they did not give us sorry, Miss O, we didn't have no food.
She had no idea.
She didn't know what was going on.
She had no idea.
She was
I heard about it.
Oh, yeah.
And you corrected it for us. You corrected it.
Didn't I call you?
Yes, and I was like, Miss O, we gotta fix this. And she said, say less. And was it not
And
fixed?
that's what I appreciated, though. You were our voice, because a lot of times, yes, I've done a lot of TV, I've done a lot of films, specifically independent films, but this is my first studio film. So sometimes you do come in just saying, okay, well, I'm going to just take whatever they give me. I'm just happy to be here, But you spoke up for us, and you showed me how to do that. But what I've really enjoyed is your sisterhood is authentic and it's real.
And again, when you look at the cast, you have Taraji, you have Fantasia. I believe Holly was a part of this movie as well. You had so many well-known, like, people who are already established. This wasn't a cast of up-and-coming actresses, right? You had people that are well-established in the field that have put in the work, and again, from what they've been saying, they were all handpicked to be in this film. And so if they were handpicked to be in this film, you would think that the budget would be appropriate and fair for these people that you're bringing on. And here's the thing, right? It's like the reason why the pay is an issue and the reason why the working conditions are an issue is because historically, when you have actors and actresses of other communities, of other non-melanated communities in these same type of projects with these same type of budgets, they're getting all that and then some. They're getting paid amazingly. They're definitely getting their own trailers, getting their own hair and makeup. Like, they are taken care of by the studio and by the production company. But when it comes to black actresses and actors, again, they're getting breadcrumbs. They're not even getting their own trailers. They're not even getting food that's available on set to have. And again, it's like, if you're gonna do those things for the other people that are in their field, that do the same thing that they do with the same budgets that they have, and the only difference is that they don't have the same skin tone, that is a problem. And that's what Taraji is speaking to.
What they're getting paid, which is half of what a man is getting paid, well, we get probably a tenth of what a Caucasian woman gets. And I'm number one on the call sheet. And then I have to go in and I have to hustle for my worth. I have more than a 30-year professional career. I had a friend who said, yeah, but Viola, your career is better than my career. I said, yeah, but you can't compare me to you. Because once again, I got the Oscar, I got the Emmy, I got the 2 Tonys. I've done Broadway, I've done off-Broadway, I've done TV, I've done film, I've done all of it.
That's what Gabrielle Union spoke to as well.
I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood. Of course I've been mistaken for Garcelle, Brandy, Ashanti, Sanaa, Nia, both Hallies and both Reginas. I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood. Of course our box office successes never mattered. I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood. Of course I have to put my glam team in my contract because I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood. Of course I was 30 playing 15. I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood. Of course I'm going to have to work until it's the end because we can't retire. We don't make enough. I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood, and of course, I have mastered the art of communicating without communicating when we are around. Usually it goes something like, I'm a black actress and producer in Hollywood, and of course, my favorite phrase is, don't with my money. Don't.
Like, it's not about getting special treatment. It's about getting treated fairly. And it's about getting treated the same way that other people in their field are also being treated. Especially if you're working on the same project. I believe there was a project that Taraji P. Henson was in. Okay, so I just looked it up. Taraji P. Henson was involved with a project called Benjamin Button with Brad Pitt in it. Taraji P. Henson got paid $150,000 to be in Benjamin Button. Brad Pitt was paid $10 million. Y'all gotta be kidding me with that. Y'all, and I don't care if, because again, I've never seen this movie, so I don't know if she was like a side character. I don't know if she, like, I don't know. But either way, it's the pay disparity. Like, that's a huge gap. Why? Like, and listen, I get it. Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. And I'm in no way saying that Brad Pitt and Taraji P. Henson are at the same level in terms of, you know, the amount of work that they've done and things like that. I'm not saying that, but god damn it, they could have taken off $1 million or $2 million to give to Taraji or whoever else was a part of that project. Because I can imagine if Taraji got paid $150,000, how much everybody else that was quote unquote below her got. And I think that's the issue that she's having, is that the pay disparity just doesn't make any sense. And it's like you're giving all these millions and billions of dollars to these other actors and actresses that are not people of color, but then when you have people of color that are a part of these films that again do really, really well, they do amazing and they get pennies for it. Or you'll have people that are a part of hit television shows, right? But then their residuals are like $1, $2. We saw a lot of that with the actors and writers strike. A lot of those people who were on iconic shows that a lot of us watched growing up and that we fell in love with and that are still airing, you know, reruns to this day, they're making pennies from their work. And I just don't think that that's okay. And I definitely think that there needs to be some changes there. And that's why I was here for the strikes, because I'm just like, people deserve to be paid their worth. Now listen, I'm not going to get too much into the whole like Oprah and Taraji thing. I know people have their opinions about Oprah. Right. I mean, there's been all kinds of rumors and stories that have come out about Oprah and her being shady behind the scenes. And, you know, it was being reported that Oprah and Taraji had some sort of tension going on because of Taraji coming out and speaking about the working conditions and everything like that. And because Oprah was like, I think she was like the main producer behind The Color Purple. A lot of people were like, okay, Oprah is behind this project. Why are y'all not getting paid fairly? Why are y'all not, you know, getting all the things that you guys deserve? And I did notice that when Oprah's name started to circulate around, that there was a lot of cleanup that happened. Like Taraji came out and, you know, shut the rumors down. Oprah has been like running to people's microphones to clear up any like negative press that's been happening surrounding it. So I don't really know what to make of it.
People are saying that I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind the scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary that's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue or there was a problem, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. I'm all for everybody being the greatest and rising to meet the rising of their own mind. There was something online about us being separated at the top of the Empire State Building. On that particular day, we were so cold. So I don't know what kind of body language people were talking about. There's no validity to there being a thing between Taraji and I.
But before you go, 3 people have stopped me today, Oprah, and said, what is the deal with Oprah and Taraji? What do you want to share with the class? No, I'm addressing that to Oprah.
Oh,
because people
I saw your face.
No, because people think
I know that it's not a deal.
It's not a
but
deal.
people think you're mad, she's mad. I know that that's not
first
true.
First of all, the thing that is so upsetting to me is that somebody went on and something went viral where they're analyzing us on top of the Empire State. We were cold.
Oprah said you were cold.
We were cold. It was cold.
Yeah, there's
a
whole
fourth thing we had done
TikTok
that day.
Yes.
That was the fourth thing we had done that day. First of all, I just want to say that from the beginning, when I got the first phone call that they were being asked to rent cars because they were in the middle of rehearsal.
Well, I asked for my own car because I like to drive myself. I'm a Southern woman.
So I heard that Taraji was upset because she'd been asked to do a rental car. I personally called Toby Emmerich, who was at the time the head of Warner Brothers, and he said, well, that means we have to do cars for everybody. Then I said, then we do cars for everybody. And if it's necessary, I will pay for the cars myself. He goes, well, we don't want you to do that. So, you know, that was one thing, trailers were another thing, food was another thing.
And everything got handled.
I just
so I don't even know why. I don't even know.
You know what? It's so disturbing to me. Why is my name even in this conversation?
Because you're Oprah Winfrey.
Can I say something?
Why is my name in this
say
conversation?
something before we leave?
Because I have just been the champion for everybody. Yeah.
I want to just say one thing. I'm a mother of young kids. Social media has become a thing. Social media has become a thing where they will take something that's not even true and run it and run it and run it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's almost like you guys, some of the interviews you're posting happened long ago, or it wasn't that, and they will take things. Yes. So at the end of the day, when we first said that this movie was going to be a healing thing at CinemaCon, I knew, without a shot of a doubt, that people would try to break that down. Anything that has healing a part of it, they will do so. So we have to overlook all of that other stuff and keep shining bright, because this movie, The Color Purple, is healing the land, baby. So no matter what, I just want to say, it's nonsense.
There is no thing.
But there isn't a thing, because what I know is you've been a champion of Taraji and everybody. And that's the only point that
trying to make sure that everybody got exactly what they needed. First of all, I am a producer. Scott is a producer.
Yes.
We are not the studio. We are not the studio, okay?
I tell you what, this is my first time getting a Golden Globe, and I do not want to miss that carpet,
y'all. Over the nonsense.
I mean, I do think that if Oprah Winfrey is behind a project, that there really shouldn't be any complaints about pay and again, having food and having trailers. And I think another thing was like, you know, they had to drive themselves to set, and you know, it was all kinds of different things that just kind of seemed like, you know, like why were they subjected to those conditions considering who they are, right? You know, they both seem to have shut down those rumors, and you know, Oprah was like, oh, like I took care of everything, but then also brings the question of, you know, why were these even an issue in the first place if you were behind the project from day one. But again, I don't know how production works with those things. I don't know, you know, who's in charge of what or what goes on behind the scenes, so I can't really speak too much into that. I do think the conversation is worth having. I just don't have enough information about, again, how these movie productions go, and honestly, even all the stuff that's surrounding Oprah. Like, I just don't have enough knowledge about that to even speak on that. But I mean, they both seem to have shut down those rumors, so we just have to see after The Color Purple kind of like, you know, like is no longer in theaters and all the promo and stuff ends. We kind of just have to see how that dynamic between her and Taraji goes, because yeah, if it seems like all of a sudden Oprah is just kind of like staying away from Taraji, then that might be a red flag. But yeah, again, it's like, I honestly commend Taraji for being brave enough to speak about all of this, especially in the midst of The Color Purple promo. And I know a lot of people felt like she shouldn't have brought it up, you know, during the promo, because it kind of, you know, not only distracted people from just going to see the film, but also it potentially brought about a negative opinion and negative view of the movie in itself. Like, people have started to question if they even want to support the film because of what Taraji has been speaking to. And you know, that's valid, but I also don't think that we can tell somebody when they should speak about something. That's something that I've noticed a lot too, like just with any type of mistreatment that people face. I notice that whenever people do eventually speak on it, you'll always have that group of people that are like, oh, why are you speaking on it now? And it's like, there's never really a right time to talk about any of this stuff, or like exposing people or exposing the industry. I think one thing that I've come to realize is that there really is never like a right time to do these sort of things. And so it's like, yeah, could she have waited until after the movie and its success and everything like that? Sure, she could have, but I think that because she was promoting this film and because of what she went through with filming The Color Purple, I just think it started to kind of like eat at her, you know? And you kind of see it, like when she's doing these interviews, you see it in her eyes that she's been hurting and she's been suppressing a lot of this, even though again she's been speaking out about this topic for a while. I first heard her speak about this when she was on The Real, talking about it, and she was breaking down her salary and then how she pays her team and then how that money gets dispersed and then taxes, and how these budgets that get put out there in terms of people's salaries, that's not really what they make. It ends up being way lower than that because of who kind of takes a portion of that salary.
Some people were like, 150, she greedy, that's a lot of money. Let me break this down for you. Uncle Sam takes 50%. Then I have to pay another 30% to my team. My son's school tuition, because he was in high school, at $30,000. Yep. And what? I gotta hit the pavement again, and I gotta scrounge up another check. If you do a film for 5 months, that takes you off the market for anything else to earn any other kind of coin until you're done with that show.
So it's not like she's talked about this for the first time ever. I think it just hit harder because I think she's just, you know, it's affecting her harder. She's been very emotional about it, and I think for her to go as far as to now say that she doesn't really want to act anymore because of what she's been going through, I think now it's starting to resonate with people of like, oh no, like this is actually like an issue. And like I said, I just don't think that she had it in her to continue with this promo without at least getting it off her chest, because she has been suffering, you know, with this issue for a while. And one of the last things that I wanted to talk about in this video is once again the struggle Olympics. People feeling like because Taraji makes a certain amount of money from certain projects that she should not speak on not getting paid her worth because she makes more than the average person. And again, I think that that's just a very dense way of looking at this situation, because it's like, yes, if Taraji P. Henson is getting paid $1 million, yes, she's getting paid more than the average working person, but who, like, again, it's like we're talking about if two people are doing the same job, let's just call it what it is. If you're a black woman who's doing the same job as a white man, right? Let's take it off of acting. Let's take it off of acting. They're doing the same job. job, they're doing the same things, and they're working for the same company. It is not fair for the woman of color to get paid significantly less than the white man. And that is the issue that people are having. And again, if you don't want to make it about race, cool, let's make it about men and women. Same thing. We've been talking about this for years now, about how a lot of women just get paid less in general than their male counterparts. The thing that people want is to be treated and paid equally for the same work and the same accolades that they have as the next person. It's not fair that Black projects get funded significantly less than projects that are, you know, not predominantly Black. And again, you have those projects that do really well, right? You have a lot of Black films and Black TV shows that do really well, but then they get paid pennies for it. And it's not fair. It's not right. So we gotta stop playing these struggle Olympics and saying that, oh, well, Taraji can't speak because she makes X, Y, and Z amount of money. No, just because she makes a lot of money as an entertainer doesn't mean that she's not allowed to get paid what she is worth and what she deserves. And I think everybody should get paid what they're worth. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care. You could be, again, the janitor or the director. Like, everybody should be getting paid fairly, and they should be getting paid a livable wage. And again, not saying she's not getting paid a livable wage. That's not the argument. She can definitely live comfortably with the amount of money that she's making, but that still doesn't make it okay to underpay her. And that's ultimately, you know, the main point here. And so yeah, that's about all I have to say for this video. I know it was running a little bit short, but I've just been trying to like squeeze in these videos as much as possible, especially with like my current work schedule. It's just been really hard to like film and squeeze things in. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.